Welcome, everyone, to CDO Magazine series of one-on-one interviews with CDO leaders and key influencers. My name is Mark Johnson, Regional Vice President of Fusion Alliance here in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm also Editorial Board Chair for the CDO Magazine. I'm coming to you today from Cincinnati, Ohio, and I have the great pleasure of introducing to you Maria Villar, Head of Enterprise Data Strategy and Transformation at SAP. Maria, welcome.
Thank you, Mark. It's great to be here. Thank you to CDO Magazine.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to this interview. And if I may, I would like to start with a couple of background questions to get our audience a little bit more familiar with you. How long have you been in the data leadership overall, Maria?
I actually started my first data role back in the early 2000s. So it's going to be, 20 plus years as a data professional, operational executive.
Wow, 20 years.
Yeah. I've seen a lot in those 20 years.
Can you tell us a little bit about your journey to the role that you have over those 20 years?
So my background is in computer science, but I also went back and got a master's degree. But when I entered the data world, I was working for IBM at the time. We had a failed, or I would say failed, but certainly a CRM, internal CRM program that was way behind because of data issues. Mm-hmm. And so I was asked to step in and get it fixed and get that topic back on schedule. So that was really my first data job. And it was around customer data, obviously, because it was CRM. And then I had an executive that I worked for who had the foresight to say, all the things that you're doing for customer data, we really should be doing for all of the other master data in the company. And eventually I ended up building out a COE for all the master data, some of the analytics. It was over 1,000 people. So I really consider myself as IBM's first chief data officer, though we didn't use that title. Awesome. And then from that, I went to financial services. So left IBM, decided to stay on the data track, but go to another industry. Went to financial services right before the financial meltdown. Spent 2 years there. That was also an eye-opening data experience. And after that, then I joined SAP in kind of late 2009 and 2010. And I was also their first head of data, chief data officer, again, not using that title. It seems like more and more companies don't use that title. But in all cases, I was that most senior executive that was charged with developing a program. It's always been from the ground up. So I've never kind of inherited a data team. It's always building it from the ground up and then having to get it funded and staffed and organized and sold. So I like to say I've earned my share of badges and scars over the last 20 years. But my role now at SAP, and I was telling you this before, is actually one of the most fun jobs that I have now, because over the last 4 years, so I was the head of data for seven years operationally. And then 4 years ago, I made a change, wanted to stay in the data space, but now I work with customers. I work with some of our most senior C-level customers. And I help them with their data strategy, with how do they organize for success? How should they think about their topic? How should they hire the right people? And it's a fantastic job.
In your opinion, why do you think a company needs a chief data officer or an executive leader, an executive level leader responsible for data management and analytics?
That's a great question. And actually, I would have probably answered it differently 20 years ago when I started my career. But today, if you think about the data, right, most companies now view data as not just a byproduct and a necessary evil to get things done, but as a product in and of itself. It's all about building material. It's so important for where companies need to go and the insights that they need. So it's really a strategic asset. And I know it's an overused term, but data is now something that companies understand has value, understands that has to be managed. And just like other assets in the company that has a leader, has a program, has a process, has capabilities, that's why you need a chief data officer, because it is that person that takes on that strategy and program.